Greetings YouTube! A little bit different of a project for me today. Generally I'm a carpenter, I do renovations and build stuff out of wood, but today I'm actually doing a little bit of work with some steel. I have a client nearby that has this old, very old building that he's probably going to keep for about another 10 years and then it'll be demolished. But until then, there's a few things on it that are just a little bit unsafe. On the very top of the building, on the rooftop, there's a railing, a steel railing that goes all the way around, and it's quite rusted in spots, and it's kind of not very secure. So I'm making some kind of struts. Like, this is the railing, and I'm making a strut that'll go from the top of the railing down to the concrete and be drilled into the concrete and drilled into the railing. It's a very simple little job, but you know, this is the kind of odd jobs that I end up doing here in Tokyo, because there's lots of small jobs like this that lots of homeowners or building owners, etc., have trouble finding somebody to do, because yeah, they can hire a big huge company to come in and demolish the building or build a new one, but finding someone small scale like myself that'll come in and spend, you know, 4 or 5 or 6 hours fixing a small problem for them is always a challenge. And also they get charged an arm and a leg for the work around here. I mean, I'm not cheap, but compared to, you know, if this was a Japanese company doing this, here I go in rant mode, this is a Japanese company doing this, 3 guys that show up in suits with briefcases, and they take a bunch of pictures and they do a bunch of drawings, and they come back with a CAD rendition, and there'd be 4 meetings, and it would take 6 months to do the bloody job. And trust me, I know that for a fact. I have a friend of mine who wanted a very simple concrete block wall built in front of his house. A year and a half later, it still hasn't been built, and the price every time he talks to the company just keeps going up. I don't do concrete walls, otherwise I'd do it for him. But it's sometimes ridiculous here. So this is a very simple job. I have to make 6 of these struts, and then also there's a couple of corner braces I'm going to put in, because the corners of the railings are also kind of a little bit wobbly. And there's one spot where I have to redo a couple of anchors that have just simply deteriorated. This should be a fairly short video. I'll shoot some of the making these struts tonight, and then tomorrow on the rooftop I'll shoot a little bit more video, just to give you a bit different flavor of the kind of things that I end up doing around here in Tokyo. Anyways, little action shots from now, and just please stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Okay, I got my struts cut. Now I have to slice off this piece here so I can bend this tab and put a hole in it to attach to the ground and to the railing. Now I could use a angle grinder. One of these. They're great. Lots of sparks and fury and stinky noise. Stinky smoke and lots of noise. But one of the other tools you can really easily use is a good jigsaw with a metal cutting blade. It's surprisingly fast. It's a lot less mess, and it's a lot less noisy. One of the things is I generally don't do metalworking in my woodworking shop, but unfortunately upstairs where my woodworking or my metalworking area is right now, where I have all my welders and stuff, it's just got a bunch of stuff in it, and to move everything out to do this small little job, it's just like it's going to be an hour to move everything out just to do this 1 hour's worth of work and then put everything back in. So it's just not worth it. And I'm not doing any welding. If I was doing welding, of course I'd have to be upstairs. But for this little bit of metalworking, I can just easily do it here. And the cutoff saw that I use is one of those slow speed carbide tip blades, so it doesn't produce a lot of sparks compared to the abrasive ones. Even so, of course, you still got to be conscious of it, and you got to worry about it. And generally my rule is, after I do any kind of work like this in my shop, I have to stay in the shop minimum 1 hour afterwards to make sure nothing catches fire. Also, I clean up really well afterwards, just sweep everything up and try to get everything neat and tidy. So how am I going to hold these? Well, I have a vise on my workbench, but I don't really want to do metalworking on this woodworking vise. So what I've done is I have a metalworking vise. I've mounted on this huge big chunk of wood. So I actually think I have a piece of wood left over from making my workbench here. And I just mount it in my woodworking vise. That way I've got a metalworking vise in my woodworking shop, if that makes sense. Seems to work fairly well for me. And you really don't want to be using your woodworking vise to do metalworking, I think. So I'm going to just bring you in closer here and take a look and see how well this works. Okay, let's see if I can cut a straight line. That easy. I think a lot of people forget about their jigsaws for metalworking stuff. So I'm just going to round these corners off, put a hole in here, and bend that tab up a little bit. Stay tuned. So I'm going to drill a 9mm hole in this the end of this tab here. This is where the anchor is going to go into the concrete. Just a quick little tip here for you. Like I said, I don't generally like to do metalworking in my wood shop, and I certainly don't want to mess up my wooden platform here on my drill press. So I put this is a lid from a cookie tin or something like that. That way it keeps all the swarf and anything else, the lube and everything else. Or most of it anyways. Exciting. Okay, I've got to bend this tab over. This is the part that gets anchored to the rooftop. And I've set my little degree finder thing here at 70 degrees, which is an approximate angle. Okay, thereabouts. The other tab on the other end, on the top end, I'll bend that on site just to make sure that I got it right. Ain't rocket surgery, but that's basically it. Now I got to bend the rest of them, and then I got to paint all this stuff because we don't want it rusting. It's not going to be there for a long time, but we still don't want it rusting. So I took everything and ran the the angle grinder with a sanding disc on it just to knock all the little sharp edges off. So the most boring thing in the world to watch, painting. Yeah, the only thing worse than that's watching is sanding, I think. Anyways, we'll see if I can get a can of paint here to explode or something exciting for you guys. Anyways, I'm just going to paint all this stuff. Wait a little while, flip it over and paint the other side, and then off to the races tomorrow to get this done. Oh, good morning. It's a beautiful, bright, sunny day out here. I'm in downtown Tokyo doing this roof railing renovation thing. Just quickly show you what I'm doing here. On each corner I'm putting one of these pieces in to make the corner more secure. And then, well, there's one other thing here I got to do, because this is got an angle bracket here to go in there and punch a hole in the concrete and put another screw in there. And then at strategic places around. So it goes from down there to up there. That'll have a bolt in the concrete, and then just like one of those whatchamahoo's that bolts up there into the metal. So not a big job. A friend of mine, neighborhood guy, who needs some work done, and asked me to do it. So it's, I don't know, all in, making all these pieces and everything might be 5-6 hours work total, I guess. But like I said, it's a beautiful sunny day here in Tokyo. Can't believe how warm it is. It's like 18 degrees today. It's like spring, even though we're still in February. So I'll take you along for the ride. So here's one of these railing braces here, because as you can see, I'm going to show you this, this railing is not very secure. It's really wiggly. So here's this corner. There was some kind of an anchor or something in here, but it's rusted out. So I'm just using a very simple bracket and a couple of these Tech screws. Well, it's time to get out the rotary hammer drill. Okay, this is how I'd set the depth up for this kind of a strike anchor. First I move the nut all the way out to the end there like that. And then I look here and I say, well, I want to drill at least that, so I'm going to just adjust this a little bit. You always want to over drill a little bit, because no matter how hard you try, a little bit of dust will fall in, and you don't want the strike anchor bottoming out. So there, I should easily over drill that. So now let's get on to the drilling. Oh, my camera turned off. Anyways, missed that one. So that one's in. That was moving a lot before. Now it's not moving anywhere. Done. Okay, so I'm done here. It would take me a lot less time, except the landlord guy came up and wanted to chat. Well, he wants me to do some more work around here, so that's not so bad. I'll show you that in a minute. But yeah, so the railing is all nice and secure now. I mean, it's so much better than it was. It's still not, you know, it's not new, but it's so much better than it was. Yeah, I'll just flip you around and show you. Attach there and attach down there, and I put some sealer compound stuff around there so that it won't leak. The landlord's a bit afraid that the concrete anchor will leak. Anyways, this is so much sturdier now. It's really amazing the difference that those struts made. So I got them done over here, and I got them done over here, and there's another corner brace there, and two more struts there, and then the corner brace in the corner. So yeah, it's all really great. So something I noticed when I was up here, this is the more work that the guy wants me to do, is you can see these are the air conditioning pipes, and you can see all the foam insulation has been torn off, and that's done by the crows. That one over there too, I don't know if I can zoom in on that, and over there as well. So the crows come up here and they rip all this apart. Now whoever did this air conditioning did a shitty job, because they ran the plastic to there where you can see it from the ground, but from here up, I don't know why they didn't run the plastic. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Put the plastic over there and then the crows can't get it. You know, same with this one. They ran it to right there and they didn't finish the job. So now, however many years later, he's going to pay me to come and finish the job. So, oh well, it's good for me. So that's it. Good little job here. Customer is pleased. I got more work from him, and I actually found some other work from a friend of his that I'm going to be able to pass along to an electrician buddy of mine. So it's all good. Beautiful, beautiful sunny day here in Tokyo, even though it's still the end of February, but it's just gorgeous out. It's like 18 degrees Celsius, whatever that is in Fahrenheit, 60 something I guess, and it's just beautiful here. So anyways, everybody take care. Thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. See ya.